Plav, pup, sor, vog, was, sisan, ap, vlir, sang, s, u, vom, ap, yam, ak, vlim, ga, k, dan, sa, vlir, sang, s, u, vom, ngag, vlim, ke, sna, ke, ga, bop, ve, daf, shof, om, vlim, ga, ga, yup, a, snil, dwin, san, ap, vlir, sang, s, u, vom, ngo, da, grog, k, dan. Which is to say, K, Bop for Travelers, Lesson 13. In this lesson, we will be learning about the first three endings on verbs. The first of these endings is number. This is the same endings as number on nouns, and in fact it is agreement with the number of the subject. So if the subject is finite in number, it will have if it is a noun, it will have the vlir suffix, and the verb will also here have the vlir suffix. And similarly for an infinite number, both will have vig. The second ending is expectation. Again, this uses the same endings as nouns, though in this case it expresses how much you expected the state of affairs described by the entire clause rather than the single item. And it is the same endings as nouns, that is, sang for expected, sing for unexpected, and sung for I expected something like this, but not quite to that extent. Now we come to the third ending, and this is the first one that does not match something on nouns. It is mental state, specifically the mental state of the person speaking. The most common ending for mental state is usually translated totally normal and rational, and it is S. Of course, this ending ends up being used as a non-answer, similar to, in English, how are you? Fine. Maybe they're fine, maybe they just don't want to tell you. So anyway, that's the default. Next we have four endings that are used for when the speaker is under the influence of various substances. For example, if someone is slightly drunk, they might say that they might use niz, as opposed to very drunk, which is ha ha. And then if they are high, that would be gorgon. And if they are under the influence of some hallucinogen, that is vis ich. Next we have overcome with passion, which is not Daniel, and then panicking, which is also not Daniel, which is a rather long suffix. And finally, doing mathematics, Daniel. It seems entirely possible to me that there are in fact other mental states that the speakers of K, Bop, just haven't ever mentioned to me. And also those last three, I am a little bit suspicious that they were making up to make fun of me. But this is the information that I have at the moment. Anyway, this has been K-Bop for Travelers, Lesson 13. Next lesson, we'll move on to the next ending, which is Day of the Week. Until then, bye! Like in many European languages, verbs in K-Bop agree in number with their subject. So, where did my sentence go? That's where it went.